If you believe kindness can change lives, this story will melt your heart. It's about two little girls who stopped eating, a grieving mother who had lost her will to smile, and a humble gardener who brought light back into their lives. But before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Stories of Kindness, where real emotions meet real miracles. The morning sun was hidden behind clouds when Eleanor Blake, CEO of one of the largest real estate companies in the country, entered her mansion's dining hall. The table was filled with untouched breakfast dishes, pancakes, eggs, fruits, and milk. Her 7-year-old twin daughters, Emily and Emma, sat silently, staring down at their plates. It had been 3 months since their father, Daniel, had passed away in a car crash. 3 months since the laughter had vanished from the Blake household. The girls had stopped eating properly, talking rarely, and sleeping restlessly. Eleanor had tried everything, therapists, doctors, even private tutors, but nothing seemed to reach them. She was a strong woman in business, but a broken one at home. Every corner of the mansion reminded her of Daniel's warmth. The grand garden outside, where the family used to spend Sundays together, now looked abandoned. Flowers had wilted, and weeds had overtaken the once beautiful lawn. One morning, when Eleanor stood near the window, lost in thought, she noticed a new man working in the garden. He looked simple, dressed in faded clothes, with kind eyes and rough hands. He moved slowly but carefully, tending to each plant with gentle care. For a reason she couldn't explain, she kept watching him. His name was Leo, a temporary gardener the agency had sent after the last one quit. That afternoon, Eleanor went outside to speak to him. "You don't need to do all this," she said, motioning toward the flower beds. "They're just plants. Nobody cares anymore." Leo paused and looked at her. "Maybe," he said softly, "but they still need sunlight and water. They don't stop growing just because someone stops noticing them." His words struck her deeply. That was the first time she had felt something move inside her heart in months. A few days later, Leo noticed two little faces watching him from the upstairs balcony. Emily and Emma stood there silently, holding stuffed toys. He smiled and waved, but they quickly hid behind the curtain. The next day, he brought a tiny pot with marigold seeds and placed it on the garden wall with a small note. "For whoever wants to see something beautiful grow again." When the twins saw it, curiosity replaced their sadness for a moment. The following morning, they placed a cup of water beside the pot. And the next day, they did it again. Leo noticed and smiled. It was a small start. Days turned into weeks. Leo began leaving little surprises in the garden, colorful stones shaped like hearts, a wooden swing he fixed himself, and sometimes just messages written on leaves. "You are brave. You are loved." Slowly, the twins started coming downstairs, peeking at him from a distance. One afternoon, when Eleanor came home from a long meeting, she was shocked to see Emily sitting beside Leo, helping him water the plants. Emma stood nearby, giggling as a butterfly landed on her hand. It was the first time Eleanor had heard them laugh in months. She stood frozen, tears filling her eyes. Leo looked up, smiled, and said gently, "They just needed a reason to look forward to the day." From then on, the garden became their healing space. Every evening, Eleanor joined them. Leo taught the girls how to plant roses, and Eleanor, though hesitant, found peace in the soil under her hands. The once empty garden began to bloom again, just like their hearts. Conversations replaced silence, laughter replaced tears, but soon people began to talk. "A CEO falling for a gardener?" whispered the staff. Eleanor ignored them, but deep down, she felt the truth. Leo wasn't rich, but he had given her something money couldn't buy: hope. One evening, as the twins proudly showed her the marigolds that had fully bloomed, she turned to Leo. "You've done more for us than anyone else could. I don't know how to thank you." He looked at her, eyes warm. "You already have," he said quietly. "You let me stay." That night, Eleanor watched the twins eat dinner happily for the first time since Daniel's death. Her heart swelled with emotion. She realized Leo hadn't just helped her daughters heal, he had helped her too. She finally smiled again, not out of politeness, but from the depth of her soul. Months later, the mansion's garden became a symbol of rebirth. It was filled with colors, laughter, and love. The twins often told visitors, "This is where our hearts started growing again." And as for Eleanor and Leo, their friendship turned into something deeper, gentle and real. She learned that love doesn't always come in grand gestures. Sometimes it's found in quiet moments, in simple kindness, in someone who refuses to give up on what still has a chance to bloom. If this story touched your heart, remember, kindness can heal even the deepest wounds. Show your support by liking this video and subscribing to Stories of Kindness for more heartwarming tales that remind us all what truly matters.